You're looking.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Outlier podcast. As always, I am your host, Saul, here with my co-host, Mr. Rogelio Quintero, flexing on you guys for whatever reason. And bro,
I'm yoked.
you're looking pretty jacked, low key.
I'm pretty yoked, bro. I've been on that grind recently.
How much do you weigh right now?
Like 290.
Damn. And you're like 5'4", no?
Three and a half.
Oh shit, that's pretty good,
Nah, bro,
man.
my scale broke like 2 months ago. Last time I checked was 220, I think I said on the podcast.
220? How tall are you?
Like 5'3" and a half, I think we just said.
No, for real. You're like 5'10", right?
Yeah.
Damn, 220. That's considered obese, right? By like,
Oh, bro, I think my like by the doctors or whatever, I think I should be at like 170, 180, which is kind of ridiculous though. I mean, I don't want to be that ever.
yeah, that's
My body type isn't even built for that either. Plus, I believe that I have way too much muscle on my body. Up in like, I've trained for like what, 6 years, 7 years up until this point, maybe even more.
no. You've trained way more. You talking about like lifting weights? Way
Yeah, I
more.
mean, I lifted weights since seventh grade because of football and stuff like that. But I mean, like actually
Training?
train
Yeah, it's been longer than that, bro.
2015.
It's eight
So it's
years.
been like 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. So, I mean, with all of that, just there's a difference between somebody who's just lifted and somebody who's been doing it for a long time. You have that maturity muscle that just it's so dense. And I'm
Hmm.
not saying that, because obviously I have many more years ahead of me. Hopefully, I don't get injured or something like that to lift and get better. But somebody that's been lifting for a decade does not compare to somebody who's been lifting for a year or 2 years. And people will notice if they continue to lift. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, we have a friend named Enrique. He's catching up to you, bro.
she's right there,
He's
bro.
neck and neck with you.
I think he's a prime example, right? Because I mean, y'all, people listening don't know who he is, but he's made a lot of progress within the past year and a half, maybe. And he, although he's come a long way, you can definitely see how there's so much more room for growth because he's new to it. A year and a half is really nothing if you look at the grand scheme of the capability of where you could take the body. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
100%. That's all gonna tie into what we're gonna talk about in a little bit after our hot seat questions.
Yeah, that would have been a good segue. Why did
Yeah,
we
no,
start
I
doing
know.
this?
I don't know. It was just unexpected. But anyways, let's get into the hot seat question. I know you have one. Unfortunately, I don't. So we'll just go with yours. Usually yours are pretty fucking solid. So the
Oh,
fuck.
okay, I almost forgot it, bro. I
Oh, okay,
almost
okay.
forgot it. Okay, so since we tend to lean more towards like relationship type, I kind of wanted to. I had the hot seat question, but I wanted to make it more relationship. So let's say, let's say you're talking to a girl, you're dating her, right?
Okay.
And you've been talking for a few months or whatever, and you really start falling head over heels for her. Like you like this chick a lot, you're starting to change certain ways that your lifestyle for this chick and things along those lines. She likes you back. Y'all become exclusive. 6 months in, y'all decide, you know what, we're gonna take it to the next step. Okay. You find out at that point. At this point, you're kind of you're all in, right? At this
Okay.
point,
Yeah. Okay.
you find out she has a kid and she never told you. Here's a twist. Her parents take care of the kid, but it's technically still hers. What do you do?
You said how deep am I? Like 6 months in?
6 months, yeah.
Yeah. No, man. Fuck. That's tough.
6 months is kind of a lot, bro.
See, it's not a problem. I don't think for me, like the kid is not an issue. It's just the fact that she hid that, right?
Hmm.
That's the big like. Why would you not tell me that up front? You know. Um. So yeah, based just off of that, like the fact that she kept that from me, I just would cut it off, bro. That's
Yeah,
just yeah.
I think
That's
I think fundamentally that you lying about something so huge that you knew could have altered the outcome of the relationship shows a lot about what you could
Character.
possibly lie about, or not lie, but keep from me in the future.
Hmm.
But
That's a huge thing to lie about, bro.
yeah. But I kind of want to ask you too, off of that question, how do you feel about dating girls with kids? Like, would you do it?
I have dated girls with kids.
Okay.
Um,
Like, okay, with those girls, did you ever consider, like, this is the one?
all right, if I'm being honest, it's not my first choice. So it's not fuck, this is kind of hard to say, but it does take away a little bit from, because if I were to start a family, I want it to be 100% mine.
Yeah,
So
man.
it does make it a little harder. Um but that doesn't mean that I won't like give them a chance, right? Cuz I have.
Hmm.
Um so yeah, usually like when I date girls that have a kid, I'm like, okay, I keep that in mind, but I don't let it I don't even think about that. So I'm like, we'll kind of cross that bridge when we get to it, right? Like for now, it's just me and
Mm.
you getting to know each other because I mean, I'm like thinking 3 steps ahead, right? So I'm just like, okay, let's go on a date and let's see if we vibe. Let's just go with that. And if we don't, then that's it, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't, bro. Because the thing is with me is like, if I vibe with you and I really start to like you, then my thoughts are going to be clouded. You know what I mean? If I wait too long to make that definitive decision, it's gonna be too late. Because if I catch feelings, bro, I catch feelings. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah,
for me, it's like, okay, she has a kid, no.
yeah.
But here's the thing, though, because you and I are coming to the age where girls are gonna start being a package deal. You know, we're up there in the 20s. We're getting closer
Nah,
to
no,
30s.
you're close to the 30s, not me.
We're gonna get to the point where all the girls that are in our range are gonna come with some kids.
Yeah, so that's something that I know I'm not dumb, right? Like as we get older, the odds of you meeting someone that's around your age that doesn't have any kids, has never been married, or doesn't hasn't been through a bunch of shit, right, is super slim. So that's just something
Yeah.
that you just gotta accept and get over. So where it gets funny is how these same girls that have kids sometimes expect the man to not have a kid themselves. You know what I mean? Like they'll gotta go out of their way to be like, I'm not looking for someone with kids when they have kids themselves. You know what I mean? That's when
Is
it
that
just
prevalent over there? I feel like it
it
is,
is it
because
is.
over here it isn't, bro. Actually, I've heard the opposite over here, where girls are actually like, yeah, I kind of like dads.
Yeah, no. Over here it's kind of like I got my own kids to worry about. Like I need someone that is gonna be all about me and my kids. People are very selfish, down here. So it's kind of just like about me and my circle first. So that's how it
Mm.
goes. Have you ever dated someone with kids? No.
I've messed around with people that have kids,
Yeah,
but I've
but
never dated or.
dated? Nah, nah. Yeah, that's
uh,
it's a tough thing, right?
I have a friend.
And
Very interesting thing that I thought of while you were describing.
Mhm.
I had a friend that he got with a girl that has kids, and he's one of those that falls in love pretty quick too. And it took him a long time, bro, to like really like warm up to them. Like
Mm.
they're in the beginning, and I want to say the first 2, maybe even 3 years. He's like, they're not my kids. I'm like, I don't care about them. Like she's gonna pay everything for them. Like she's gonna do that. Like that's her problem, not mine. And it wasn't until like things started to get really serious, started talking about marriage and their own kids, that he really started to like take that father role for them and really start to care for them, and like to a different, started calling them his kids, things along those lines, which is, I was glad to see that growth in him, because I did see like some resentment, and I get it, because like going back to you said, it's something built in us to think like, man, I want my own family.
Mm.
It's somewhat territorial, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but to like take care of another man's kid is like a very hard thing to do as a man,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So for me to see that in him, to like take that role on, was like, damn, that's pretty. I didn't tell him or anything like that, but I was just like, man, I'm proud of that guy because that takes a lot of humility to take care of another man's
Fuck it.
kid.
Fuck it. I'm gonna just say it. Me and me and someone that's very close to me went to dinner with a friend, right?
Okay.
And we're catching up, right? We hadn't talked in a while. And this friend was telling us about his life, right? How he's been and all that. And he goes, "Yeah, I'm with this girl now, and keep in mind he has no kids himself. He's doing all right for himself, right? No kids himself, never been married or nothing, like pretty clean slate, right? For
Hmm.
an average guy." And then he goes, "Yeah, I'm dating this girl, and she we're getting pretty serious, and she has 2 kids, right?" And me and my brother kind of looked at each other like, "Fuck, bro!" Like,
I love how you start to reveal the people in your stories all the
damn it,
time.
damn it,
You start,
damn it, damn it. All right, whatever. I don't care. But anyways, that was a fail. Anyways, for me,
you start off with someone close to me and a friend, and you just slowly start.
bro, can I finish my fucking story, bro? Holy shit! Can I finish my Can I finish my story?
Go ahead,
Okay.
bro.
Anyways, he could be watching this. I don't know. But anyways, to me, that for where I'm at in my life and my age, I was kind of like, damn, that's kind of a tough situation, right? But then I kind of thought about it, and I was like, no, like he's much older, so like maybe this is more. I'm not at that age, so I don't know. So I'm like, maybe. And he talked about how he got along with the kids and he really liked them and all that. So I'm like, oh, like it makes more sense when you're older, right? Like if you're in your 30s, maybe let's say, it's probably a lot easier to deal with.
Accept and things along those lines.
Yeah,
Maybe because another thing that is very familiar with men is that the more you get older, the more that you want to be that, take on that role.
yeah, and you want a family and like so it's kind of like
Mhm.
the acceptance level is much higher, I think.
But here's the thing, like at that age, let's say around 35, let's say you're 35, do you want a girl that's single, no kids? Like what is a girl doing 35 single, no kids?
Life happens, bro. Could have just been divorced right now, at that age. It's just you don't know. But I think we could both agree that it's much more. You could accept it more if you're a higher age, right? Than as opposed to if you're younger. Like if you're like 22, the odds of you like, well, I don't know, because then I don't know. It's just for me that makes sense, right? If you're older, you'd be like more likely to accept it, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would think so as well. I think there's different components to that. One, what you said, you want a family already. Two, another thing is psychologists have even found this that the older that you get, the more you want to impact the next generation, the next legacy. So they say in your late teens, 20 era, men tend to think, how can I save the world? It's a very narcissistic mindset that men have. It's like, man, how can I impact the world? Once you get into your 30s and up, you start to realize the only way you can impact the world is if you impact the people around you. And that's where your legacy comes involved. That's where starting the next generation, hence family, things along those lines. That's the way I can make a difference in this world, is to inspire and help grow people around me. And by doing that is starting a family.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. But yeah, that what was your original question of the?
Would you be open to date a woman with kids?
Yeah, I mean, I have, and I still, I plan on not stopping. So it's just, it's something that, like I said, just to answer it super quick, which I already did, but it's something that I kind of just save for later. Like we'll talk about this later and see, let's just talk about me and you first, and then we'll go from there. So that's how I look at it.
Fair.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, I'm married, but definitely like
But your
because I'm
thought,
in my
just
20s.
just your thoughts on it. You don't have to like.
Yeah, just like me in my 20s, I feel like can still have that standard of I want a girl with no kids, no family.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's a huge red flag for me. And it's not because I hate kids or anything. Obviously, I want, a big family and things along those lines, but I just think it's a lot of baggage because you're going to take on these kids. How are you going to discipline another man's kids, right?
Yeah.
That's a big factor. Is your chick going to want you disciplining her kids, right? Because don't really have a say in it. Are you willing to get close and vulnerable with these kids, knowing that if something doesn't work out with your girl, they're going to be taken away from you? So there's a lot of things like
Yeah.
into play with that I was just like, yeah, I just much rather not. I mean, if it happened, I'm sure it'll be fine, but
Yeah, those are the two biggest things. Like the discipline one is like she's not gonna unless she's okay with you disciplining her kids. Like they're your own, then But most of the time, it's like no, they're always gonna have that like you're not her real dad type thing,
Mhm.
And
And
then
baby daddy drama too, bro.
yeah, I think the biggest part is if you get attached and close to these kids, and then you invest a year or two, right, and you're close to the kids, and then you guys separate for whatever reason, you have no rights to see the kids at all. I think that's the biggest like problem with that, right? So
Here's another thing we did not mention, which is a big one too, is that who's going to be the main provider? You're going to have to support those kids that you didn't bring in the world, which is it's a big deal, bro. Like that's a lot of money, that's a lot of time, that's a lot of investments that have to happen. Again, what if things don't work out? Like those are things that we have to think about before our feelings get involved. That's why I said with you, like, oh, we'll think about it later. Because once feelings involved, bro, it's so hard to let go. So if you're in there
yeah,
deep, it's gonna be hard to pull away for no reason. You know what I mean?
yeah, 100%. Well, let us know what you guys would do in this situation if you guys are open to dating someone with kids or not. I know there's a bunch of people that watch this that have kids, so we'll see how that goes.
You want to go ahead and name them?
I might as well, right? Keep fucking up. I don't, dude. It's so hard for me not to, because when I tell stories, I like saying who's there, right, and all that.
Yeah.
So when I tried censoring myself and it just didn't work out. That's hilarious though. That's fucking funny. Whatever. Anyways, they're probably watching this, but it's fine.
Oh man.
We recently just had so we were talking about fitness, right? Before the hot seat question,
Mhm.
and there's a huge influencer that just kind of popped up in the scene a few years ago that just passed away, sadly. And this is kind of a big wake up call for a lot of people because he died of an aneurysm, which people are suspecting was caused because of his steroid use. And keep in mind, this is a very young, obviously healthy guy, right? He's in the fitness industry. He was only 30 years old when he passed away. 30 years old. Um, so let me see here. He died in his girlfriend's arms.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what she says happened. Um, she said like 3 days before he died, he was having neck pains and he was complaining about neck pains and they didn't know what it was, right? So she was just like holding them and like trying to comfort him, right? And then he
Yeah.
eventually ended up passing away. And by the time they realized what it was too late. He was
Yeah. Well,
already
the
dying.
thing is about an aneurysm is like it's a rupture, so it's pretty quick. Like when it actually happens, like you're getting, if it's in the brain, a lot of the times it's almost instant death, bro, because it's like a misfire. It's I think it comes from like a clog or something like that.
A clog.
Hold on. An aneurysm is an abnormal swelling or bulge in the wall of blood vessels, such as arteries. Aneurysms can occur anywhere throughout the circulatory system, but most commonly developed in the aorta. The body's main artery that runs the length of a trunk and in the vessels of the brain. Yeah. So what I heard is like basically once like you have an aneurysm in your brain, it's just like almost instant death is what I've heard in the past.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the neck pains correlate to that, but apparently that's like a symptom or a sign of an aneurysm. But anyone can have an aneurysm, but
That's
that
a scary thing.
yeah, that's a scary thing. It's like it can happen to you right now, and you just that's it. You're fucked. But um, yeah. So this guy was like on enhancements, right? I don't know if he was open about it or not, but you could clearly tell. Um, so those are part of the risk of taking those drugs is these serious risks
Yeah.
of heart attacks, aneurysms, all that stuff.
More
So
than $200,000. More than 200,000 cases per year.
of aneurysms,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a huge
In the
amount.
United States. That's so wild.
Yeah, so rest in peace to Joe Aesthetics.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know who that is, he went super mega viral with a video of him like doing this chest
Ripple effect, where
yeah, ripple
his
effect.
muscles just kind of twitch in a weird way.
Mhm.
He had some rare condition where it allowed him to do that, and that's when he blew up. He's also a very fit, handsome guy, so just super knowledgeable in fitness too. So of course he blew up. All right. Well, rest in peace to that man. The last thing I want to talk about is ESPN lays off. Let me see. Uh, for those of you who know Max Kellerman, he's one of the biggest personalities in boxing as far as like commentating and talking about boxing. He's huge. They fucking laid him off. They fired his ass, along with
Yeah.
20 on-air personalities. And Jalen Rose, I'm not sure who that is, but apparently that's another huge name. Do you know who that is?
No, no.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
so
watch.
the reason for this is they're cutting costs on whatever. They're trying to save money, and those were, I guess, expensive people that had to let go. 20 people, including Max Kellerman, which I'm hoping Max Kellerman finds his way to the UFC somehow, which he's not very, familiar with MMA, but he does like it. So I know that. So hopefully they work something out where they pick him up. But that's interesting though. ESPN is struggling for money to the point where they have to fire some of their best people. Think about that.
Yeah.
That's insane, bro.
Um so I have a couple of thoughts about this. I think that it's something a little bit more not sinister, but I think there's something deeper going on. I think that media has, especially when it comes to sports and things like that, there's been a shift and a shift in a way that we're kind of what we're doing right now is that basically anybody can have a platform. And I feel like this all started with Joe Rogan. You know, Joe Rogan literally has the biggest platform for anybody to go up there and talk. But you're seeing like Ariel is a perfect example. You know what I mean? He used to be the UFC interviewer exclusively, whatever it was, and then he got let go and he started his own show. We have Shannon Sharp who just left Undisputed and he does his own podcast now. Like super popular thing. I think that the draw is getting away from these massive media places like ESPN and things along those lines, and they're starting to go to these podcasting. So they're not getting all the views that they used to get. Essentially, what I hope for Max is that he takes that route where he makes his own show. I feel like he's successful enough to be able to do that. I think he has enough influence in order to bring a team together, whether it's a podcast or his own broadcast, whatever it is. But the point I'm trying to make here is that I don't think people like Max and all the other 20 people that got let go necessarily need ESPN.
No, definitely not. Especially Max Kellerman. Everyone knows him. He's like one of the most notable people in boxing as far as talking about actual boxing. So I think if he goes to YouTube, like that would be his best move. and just
Yeah.
does his own show, invest in like a set and whatever, and do a thing by himself, I think he'd probably even be more successful than on ESPN because he's not limited to the amount of deals or what he can do and who he can have on, what he could talk about, all that. So
Mhm.
I think this is probably a blessing in disguise for him. As far as the 20 other people that were let go, I don't know who they are, so I don't know. Good luck to them.
Yeah, but I just think that it's a sign of the pivot that we're dealing with here in like media. Like anybody can have a voice now. Obviously, you and I and other millions of podcasters that are out there, it's going to be very difficult because we do need to make a name for ourselves. But it's just cool to see that people have a platform and that we can make it without all of these gatekeeping companies.
Yeah, bro, that's all thanks to the internet, literally. Um,
Hmm.
First, it was cable TV that went down, and then fucking what was the movie one?
Blockbuster,
Blockbusters. No, I think it was Blockbusters and
Redbox,
cable. Yeah, I think they're still around, but like they're
they're still
struggling.
around,
They're
but
struggling, bro.
yeah.
And then slowly everything's like online now, right? And you don't have to go to certain people to get boxing interviews or boxing talk or basketball talk anymore because everyone could do it, and there's probably someone more interesting, more better spoken than somebody on ESPN, right? Much more entertaining, whatever it may be. So it's tough now to be these huge corporations trying to draw in people when you could just get
Yeah.
it for free online whenever you want. It's much more convenient. But yeah, things are
Mhm.
changing. I was just thinking that the other day too. Is like, bro, like I'm about 20, 25 now. In about 70 years, I would be 95, right?
Hopefully, I
If I make
mean,
it, but let's just say 60, right? So 60 years, I'd be 85. That's likely, right? I could do that. I feel like, right?
if you don't have an aneurysm, yeah.
Aneurism. Anyways, so what was that? 60? Yeah. So 60 years from now would be 20 what? 2083,
Yeah.
right? Okay. And I'm like, damn, I could live to see what the year 2083 is possibly like. Do you
Yeah.
know how crazy that is, bro? That's almost like I was born in 98 and then I could potentially live to 83 and see what the future holds. Like, that's insane, bro. I'm just so curious to know what the future holds.
Not me. Fuck that, bro. I don't want to get old, man. Like,
I don't. I
telling
don't.
you,
I don't want to get old. I don't want to get
time is
old.
flying by so quick, bro.
I know you're almost 30 years old, bro. You're
Dude,
starting to
for
look it,
real.
bro. You're married, you
Oh
have a
my
kid.
god. My son's 7 months old already. It's crazy, bro. He's saying mama and dada, bro. That's wild. He has 3 teeth now. It's fucking crazy, bro.
Two up top, one in the bottom.
Two on the bottom, one on the top side.
Oh my god, that's
Nah,
crazy,
dude, it's
man.
crazy, man. We're getting old quick, man. It's about to be a what is it? The decade school reunion, whatever they have.
Are school reunions real?
Yeah, well, I mean, over here they're like
So
because
how does that work? Do you get something in the mail that lets you know, like, hey, we're meeting here at this time, whatever?
apparently it's one of like the students, like student councils or like whoever was in charge your senior year of a certain. I don't even know, bro. Like it's their job to like try to contact everybody
Uh-huh.
via email, via mail, or Facebook, whatever it is, and invite them to something.
And it's like
I don't.
the whole class of
They try. I mean, if they didn't
damn.
die from an aneurysm or something.
Nah, bro, that's I don't know. I thought that was just like a movie thing. I didn't know people actually did that.
No, bro. Like my aunt had like a 30-year school
School
reunion.
reunion. Hmm.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. You know what's weird? I don't know if this is why he messaged me. I had a um schoolmate, right? Is that how you say it?
Classmate.
Classmate. There you go. I had a classmate message me on Snapchat the other day. I didn't even know I had him, and he said, "Hey, bro, do you remember how many people we graduated with?" I said, "No, sorry." He's like, "Oh, okay, thanks." I don't know if that's what it was for. Smart dude. So maybe he was in some type of like group with that. I don't know, but I didn't ask him. I was just like, okay.
He just said thanks and that's it.
Yeah, he's like, okay, thanks.
That's fucking random, dude.
It was probably for the school reunion. I'm thinking
Oh man, that's crazy. We're getting
10 years.
fucking old, bro. We're getting old, man.
10 years since I graduated next year, bro.
I
10
I was at
years.
I was at the gym and I seen these like high school kids walk in with like the PE uniform, right? Ready to work out. And I was like, fuck, bro. Like I feel like I was just there yesterday, you know?
Bro, I
Fucking
feel so young in comparison to what I am.
yeah. But honestly, I hope you and I, we talked about this the other day that
Yeah, we did.
no matter what happens, bro, you and I will always come back to the roots of, doing what we love and just connecting online.
Yeah, man. There's nothing like y'all don't understand, man. Like we could whether we're going through a hard time in life, good time in life, Saul and I always reconnect through gaming online. Like it's just such a weird thing. It doesn't matter what game it is. The common denominator is the connection through online
Gaming.
gaming. It's so weird, man.
Yeah, and
It's
like you and I have gone. There was a period where we went like almost a year without speaking, right? Because we were just
yeah,
busy with life. And then
yep.
we just one day we're like, I think you were messaged me or I messaged you and was like, hey, you want to play games? And then we just got on and picked up right where we left off. Like nothing happened. Almost a year went by and we were like back to our old selves. It was fucking hilarious,
I
you
think
know.
that's the time where I started vlogging
Yeah,
and
you were going out a lot, I think, was it
yeah,
that
I was
time?
partying a lot and
Yeah,
stuff like that, hanging out with my high school friends and things along those lines. And then I realized like it was 6 months I think that we didn't talk
yeah, or
around
half a year,
around there,
half a
half a
year.
year. And then I realized like, yeah, this party life isn't for me, man. I just wanted to be home playing video games. So slowly but surely I got away from that and I remember um asking I think I asked you like you want to play like Modern Warfare 3 or something like that and just like yeah, whatever. Just play. And bro, we got back into it like crazy. It was a good time.
Yeah. For people listening, you guys probably think we're like super huge gamers. We're not. We I personally probably play like 3 to 5 hours a week, max. Max.
Mhm.
Probably 3. I don't know about you. It's probably close to that, right?
Yeah, I try to play twice a week. I usually end up falling asleep one of them. So I play like one day out of the week, essentially.
Yeah. Our age is starting to show though, because back in the day, you and I used to pull 8 to 10 plus hours of just straight gaming, right?
Yeah.
Like that's I can't believe we used to do that. I feel like you and I have to do that one more time just to feel how it
Mhm.
was. Like just to see if we could still do it.
We need to get a day off together and just from like midday all the way to midnight, bro, just game, bro. That sounds crazy though. That sounds
That's
I remember, bro, in high school, just waking up, getting on the console, and just playing all damn day.
yeah. I remember being excited to wake up, like going to bed at night and be like, I can't wait to wake up to play. Like that was, I remember having those feelings. I haven't had that in so long, but I still enjoy the connection that comes through with gaming, and that's
It, it-
that's the best part for me.
yeah, the connection, right? Because you and I don't really have that much fun playing alone. It has to be,
Hmm.
hey, are you getting on? And then we don't get on until the other person gets on, or we play with another couple of friends that we have too. But, bro, I remember I went 3 days, 2 nights, no sleep, prime Black Ops 2. 3 days and 2 nights, bro. I was a zombie. I mean, I would get home from work tired, but I would get on the console and I was so addicted that I would play all night till I had to go back to work the next day. And then I remember at work being like, "Oh no, bro, I regret this. Like as soon as I get home, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm so tired." I would get home. Let me just play one game. Boom, all night. And I did that for 2 nights. And I was awake for 3 days. And I remember going in a coma because I was off the next couple of days. I just slept like crazy. But dude, that's how addicted I was. I looked forward to just playing video games. And we've talked about this, I think, in the past, where it was kind of an escape
Yeah.
from a lot of the things that were going on in our lives. And it's not that we had terrible lives. I don't think we're not victims of our
No, no, no.
lives at all, right? So when I say that, I don't want to make it seem like I hated my life. It was just more of like you had like a newfound identity online.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we created a new name for ourselves, which you still call me.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I don't know, we were just able to be unique online. And I wouldn't even say that we were somebody different either, right?
No. No, we were just our most extreme versions of ourselves, I would say,
Yes. Yes,
online.
uncensored, right?
Uncensored, yeah. You were a lot racist back then.
Yo, chill. I never, bro. I wouldn't even cuss back in the day. That's how like clean cut I
No,
was.
yeah,
Everybody,
dude, that's one of the reasons I hated you is because you would always go like, I'd be like, "Fuck, man, this guy fucking, I left him so weak," and he'd be like, "Holy cow, man!" I fucking hated that shit. I was like, dude, who invited this fucking nerd, bro? Talk about holy cow, bro. Like,
moo. No, yeah, dude. I didn't like to cuss. I didn't do any of that. And I still go through phases like that where I'm like, now I'm gonna stop cussing.
yeah,
I don't know, bro. That's just who I am. Sometimes a lot of the times I just don't like the way it sounds. So
yeah. I think with friends is cool. But when you're like in a public setting, it's probably better to keep those words to a minimum.
I think especially when I hear like young group of kids in a public setting cussing, it really turns me off. And then I start to reflect on myself like, damn, well, I cuss too. So I'm kind of being a hypocrite here. I think stuff like that really gets me thinking. But
Yeah, for sure. That was an
yeah,
unexpected talk. Anyways, we did 37 minutes, 38 minutes now.
it's good.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this week's episode. We got it up a little late, but we got it done. If you guys have any hot seat questions or would you rather's, please comment them down below. Check out my brother's reaction channel at what is it? Oh Rogers. Or
Roger
no,
reacts.
that's your Instagram. Oh Rogers is his
Yeah.
Instagram. Anyways, we'll see you guys next week. Anything else you want to add, brother? No.
No, just go check out the channel. We're at 2,500 subscribers right now. So trying to hit that 5K. Just got demonetized on the channel. Can't make any money or really do anything on it. But if you hit that subscribe button, really makes it worth it at this point. But yeah, guys. And then make sure y'all hit subscribe on this YouTube channel if y'all are new. Leave
Yes,
down in the
sir.
comments if y'all enjoyed it or not. But yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Peace out, guys. Peace.